We started out with Alpha, then it was Delta, now Omicron. We've heard a lot of Greek letters over the past 2 years to describe variants of the coronavirus. And the longer COVID sticks around, the higher our chances are of learning even more of the Greek alphabet as more variants pop up. Each variant brings on their own complexity, some worse, some more severe than others. But as we know, when you take a COVID test, it's either positive or negative. You don't get to know right away if it's Omicron or Delta. So how do you know which variant you may have tested positive for? And what if it's something else altogether? Well, to figure that out, tests are being sent to Idaho Bureau of Laboratories, the beginning of a lengthy process. And Katya Stepovic spent some time there at the state lab to be part of the process from start to finish. Katya, help us understand how this works, please.
Brian, it is an extremely lengthy process, and I will tell you that. One single positive sample goes through about 6 different major steps in the sequencing process to determine what that variant it may be. From start to finish, this takes multiple days to complete. And the entire process from sample collection to the state reporting the results, that can take up to 10 full days if you're lucky. The Idaho Bureau of Laboratories has employees working overtime to fill the demand of needing to sequence positive COVID tests to detect variants.
If you would have asked me 3 years ago that I am where I am right now, I would not believe it.
We try to make sure that we're balancing the resources that we have with the need to get information out to the public. So we do our very best to make sure that we're not burning people out. The sequencing program has been one of those that has grown in proportion to the pandemic. So if you think about, if we're trying to, as a goal, sequence 10% of the positive samples, then you can think about right now where we've got, lots and 4,000 cases a day. That's a lot of samples that could be rolling in for sequencing.
And they've definitely been able to sequence more and more as time has gone on with this pandemic. The lab can start on about 300 samples a day, but with it being a days-long process, they can complete about 600 per week. In 2020, the Idaho Bureau of Laboratories sequenced 574 positive tests. In 2021, that grew to almost 4,000 positive tests. So far in 2022, this year, they have sequenced 429 positive samples, with the demand constantly increasing every single day. Now, 98% of last week's sequenced tests alone were Omicron. Brian, as you can imagine, there are so many intricacies involved in this process, and I saw it firsthand today. We spent a lot more time than was predicted. So next Tuesday, right here on the 208, I will have an in-depth look at what those processes are and how all the contents in that little nasal swab ends up in a highly advanced computer system that tells us what variant is circulating right here and now.
All right, between now and next Tuesday, just enough time for you to get your PhD, Katya, and help explain this to us. We'll tune in. Thank you very much.
My brain is like, wow.
I can imagine. All right, thank you very much.